Good afternoon to one and all present here. I welcome all of you to the groundbreaking ceremony, Campus Development Project of IIT Hyderabad in collaboration with Japan. I request distinguished dignitaries, our Honorable Chief Guest, His Excellency Mr. Kenji Hiramatsu, Ambassador of Japan to India, Guest of Honor Sri B.V.R. Mohan Reddy, Chairman, Board of Governors, IIT Hyderabad, Mr. Matsumoto, Chief Representative of JICA, Professor U.B. Desai, Director, IIT Hyderabad, and Professor Shirish Sirade, Dean of Planning, IIT Hyderabad, to take their seats on the dais, please. Bouquet will be presented to the dignitaries. I request all the dignitaries on the dais to proceed to light the lamp. I now request our Director, Professor U.B. Desai, to give the welcome address.
His Excellency Mr. Hiramatsu-san, Ambassador of Japan to India, Sri B.V.R. Mohan Reddy, Chairman, Board of Governors, Mr. Matsumoto-san, Chief Representative JICA, India Office, and my colleague, Professor Shirish Sirade. Distinguished members in the audience, various invitees from the Japanese delegation, from JICA, faculty members, staff, and dear students. This is in fact a very momentous occasion for all of us. Our collaboration with Japan started quite some time ago, I don't want to give the number of years, it looks too large, so I would like to leave the dates out. But there's been a long time in the coming, and we had been sort of dreaming of this day when we would start the construction of various buildings which have been funded through JICA and designed by Japanese architects. There are 6 buildings which are designed by Japanese architects. The guest house, which has been designed by Professor Ono. Then the incubation center, which has been designed by Professor Kawazo. The convention center, which has been again designed by Professor Ono. The library and what we call as a knowledge center, it has been designed by Professor Kawazo. Okay. Then we have the research center complex, which has been designed by Professor Ono, and the sports and cultural complex, designed again by Professor Ono. It took quite some time, of course, to get the design because they are very unique design. If you look at it from an engineering perspective, each one has its complexity, which is very unique, and you don't find in many of the buildings that we are normally designing in India. I remember for the sports and cultural complex, the roof trusses are of such a unique nature that some of our faculty members had to go to Japan and spend some time, trying to understand and to make sure that yes, this whole thing can be done in India. And that took quite a bit of time. So I'm indeed very grateful that this day has come. Thank you so much to Japan, JICA, and all our colleagues. I think we now have a large number of friendship group also in Japan. I would also like to add that this is a very unique collaboration that an academic institution has had in India since independence. I think many institutions have had collaboration with foreign universities, the most notable being what the US had with several American universities. But this is very unique, both in terms of the intensity of the collaboration, the proximity of the collaboration, and also in terms of the quantum of funding. Okay. This particular project, and we are hoping that very shortly we would have another such gathering where we would have what we call phase 3B being executed, roughly of the same magnitude. In the current phase, about 9 buildings are being constructed, and many more in the next phase. Totally about 25 buildings will be constructed, most of them being funded through JICA. So the collaboration is one of a kind, I would say, and IIT Hyderabad is very privileged to have this collaboration. Consistently, I think we have got strong support from JICA. We have got strong support from MHRD. We had to go through a couple of renewals, and MHRD was very supportive in getting those renewals. Okay, and the support still goes on because we still have a long way to go before we complete the whole project. And as I keep saying, we are hoping that in one form or the other, the relationship which has been started with Japan, through JICA collaboration, the JICA friendship program, will continue forever. Of course, many don't kind of agree to that, but that is my fond hope because I think something that just rubbing shoulders with Japanese colleagues and learning so much from them, that has benefited IIT Hyderabad fraternity, both faculty, students, staff, everyone immensely out here. And I believe most of the Japanese colleagues who have come here also, they have been quite happy. We have been very happy whenever we visit Japan. Okay. And research collaboration also, I'll just take a minute out here to mention that it is not simply construction, though today we have gathered here for construction. We have very strong research collaboration. There was one big project we completed earlier on information network for disaster mitigation, the SATRAP project. There's another one which is going on succinctly, like smart mobility. Then we have projects from JST, DST together. Okay. There are what they call the Kickstart projects are there, and many more research projects are coming up. So I think if the collaboration is on multi-facets related to academic institutions, and we are very privileged and proud for having this. So on my behalf, I would request the audience to give a big thunderous applause to the ambassador. They have been very generous in all. They have also been extremely patient. In spite of immense delays, I think patiently they have borne with us and the vagaries of various things that have happened in terms of getting things not done on time, getting delayed. But they have been very patiently helping us in going through the whole thing. For that, I am extremely grateful to them. So once again, my very special thanks to the Ambassador of Japan for coming as a chief guest for this momentous occasion, Mr. Matsumoto-san. Of course, I knew him. I used to meet him when I used to visit JICA office in Tokyo. Okay, and I think I'm going to remember the names. I don't remember all of them. I wish I had the list out here. I think first when I started interaction, I think it was Harasan who was there in the JICA office. I think after Harasan, if I'm not mistaken, it was Ejima-san. I hope I have not missed somebody in between. And then it was Mr. Sakamoto-san, okay, and now Mr. Matsumoto-san. So something which should have been done in Ejima-san's time, okay, you know, but it has gone way beyond that right now. But finally, we have done this. I think there were many other JICA Japanese colleagues. Again, Ehara-san is out here. He was there earlier, then he went back to Japan, again came back. I guess he cannot stay away from IIT Hyderabad. So he's again back with us. I think we had, there was a gentleman I remember, because in Hyderabad he used to profusely sweat, Mr. Behara-san. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. So he was there earlier. Then I think Kondo-san was there. I remember these names. I'm sure I'm missing many other names out here. I think Mr. Ghosh, who has been our kind of representative to help the collaboration with Japan, probably he would remember all the names. Okay, so in some documents you will have all of them being mentioned. So thank you very much, sir, and thank you JICA, and thank you Japan for this fantastic collaboration.
Thank you, sir. Now we have a video message by Professor Ono, Japanese Chief Architect and Professor of University of Tokyo, Japan.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, many old friends, and ladies and gentlemen who we are to work together for the 6 buildings. We have been waiting for the commencement of the construction work since our first meeting with Professor Desai. It was at a restaurant in Tokyo, just a day before Christmas Eve of the year 2010. 8 months after our first meeting, we visited Hyderabad and presented our first proposal to the workforce members for the new IITH campus. Our long and intense interaction started since that meeting. We spent much time for deepening our understanding of IITH's philosophy on education and research, as well as legal procedures. We have designed 6 different kinds of places for gathering and exchanging ideas among students and teachers, and also visitors from all over the world. These 6 buildings are more iconic in terms of the character of space. It is my hope that these places will help to make everyone work and think together, to make them feel friendly, and to give them a sense of sharing one creative forum. Today, we come to the new stage at last. We are dreaming that our 6 buildings appear and join the creative village of IITH campus. Our groundbreaking ceremony in Japan, conducted mainly by Shinto priest, is called Chinsai. It means the ceremony of soothing. Soothing what? We try to soothe and God of the ground. Japanese local religion Shinto tells us every tract of land is governed by a God, and you need to receive permission from God before you touch the ground. If you offend the God, He will bring disaster to the doer. In the case of construction work, owners, builders, and architects and engineers pray for the safety of the construction. May you all be happy, and may all builders complete their work without any accident. We are delighted to continue our commitment with these projects until its completion. Thank you very much.
I now request Mr. Matsumoto, Chief Representative JICA Office, to share his thoughts.
Professor A.B. Desai, Director of IIT Hyderabad, His Excellency Mr. Kenji Hiramatsu, Ambassador of Japan to India, Shri B.V.R. Mohan Reddy, Chairman of the Board of the Governors, Professor Faride, Hyderabad, distinguished guests, professors, staff, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Thank you very much for inviting us to today's event. We'd like to really congratulate the groundbreaking ceremony of the campus development project of IIT Hyderabad. Based on the agreement between two governments, India and Japan, JICA has been provided ODA loan project in 2014, and the total loan amount is almost 23 billion Japanese yen. It is approximately the 1,500 crore rupee. This finance should be utilized for the campus development. And also the finance should be utilized for the purchase of the laboratory equipment. I believe that the university have already started buying such kind of equipment. The project includes the construction of the 25 advanced buildings, of which, as Professor Ono mentioned, that the 6 buildings are designed by the professors from the Urban Engineering Department of the University of Tokyo. Other than supporting the campus construction, JICA has been working with the development of the research network of Institute of Higher Education and Industry clusters between India and Japan. We can see really a good progress of the joint research works in various fields until now. In understanding the more than 12 Japanese universities joined this program, in which more than 200 researchers have been involved. And also a design project and the Science and Technology Research Partnership for Sustainable Development, it is so-called the SATREPS, is also one of this program. And under the Technical Cooperation Project, so-called JICA Friendship Project, the scholarship program for the students was also created. And at this moment, I believe more than 90 IIT Hyderabad students was dispatched to Japan, and we are very glad to hear that the applicants for this scholarship has been really increased year by year. So I believe that nobody doubts that the IIT Hyderabad has been one of the symbolic projects between Japan and India, and JICA is very happy to be involved in this project. So we strongly hope that our project can contribute to the human resource development in the higher education in India, and also contribute to the exchange of the people of two countries. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. I request guest of honor, Shri B.V.R. Mohan Reddy, Chairman, Board of Governors, IIT Hyderabad, to address the audience.
His Excellency Hiramatu-san, Matsumoto-san, Professor Uday Desai, Professor Sirish, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a big day for IIT Hyderabad. We're doing the groundbreaking, or we've just done the groundbreaking of the phase 2, or the true Indian anecdotal way, the Bhumi Puja was done for the phase 2. And I believe that we'll go phases with the second phase. Well, we accommodate about 2,500 students now on the campus. In about 36 months from now, when we complete the second phase of the campus, we'll have the ability to accommodate 5,000 students. This phase will help us in terms of putting together 24 more buildings. Is that right, Sirish? 24 more buildings. And they'll probably bring many more facilities to make sure that IIT Hyderabad continues to grow, continues to shine not only in India, but across the world. We have done extremely well in the first 10 years, but as I see, the next 10 years are going to be much, much better, bigger than what we have done so far. Amazing work has been done with Professor Uday Desai and the rest of the team in terms of creating a very vibrant research culture at IIT, making sure innovation, entrepreneurship has been given due importance. We have actually the first time for an IIT, we have started a BTech in artificial intelligence. It starts from this academic year 2019-20. We have a summer intervention that's happening for mid-level managers from the industry, for about 100 of them, sorry, for 200 of them, for making sure that they learn digital technologies. So on that count, again, congratulations to the leadership at IIT Hyderabad, especially Professor Uday Desai and the rest of the faculty. Let them give them a round of applause. Actually, support coming in from Japan, our dreams would not be true. Japanese government, especially through JICA, has been very generous. There's a fairly large sum of money for doing the building. And it's just not the building. I believe that there's a lot more that we could do together. If you look at the world that we are living in today, I believe there are 5 forces at work. The first one is that we see the center of gravity of the whole universe shifting towards the east. And both Japan and India are in east. The second force which is at work is the aging population. On aging population, Japan and India complement each other. A third force which is at work is globalization. We continue to believe in this path of globalization. The fourth force, according to me, is that there are certain aberrations in the world at this point of time as we see, and we think about it a little more seriously. There are several political leaders, understandably for some reasons, think it should be more local focus. The success of Mr. Trump, the current negotiations at Brexit, or the yellow jackets and so on and so forth are a reflection of the same. They're not there with Japan or India. And in fact, the most important force at work is technology. And there is extremely high levels of complementarity between Japan and India. Japan has technology, and India is progressing towards technology. Japanese does not have that large population of people. We have a burgeoning 1.3 billion people in this country, and we produce about 800,000 technically qualified individuals, youngsters, every year. So there is tremendous amount of opportunity to collaborate further, much beyond the financial collaboration. And I think they've come in some direction. We have got 100 plus students now in Japan. I like to see this particular collaboration increasing. There are about 3 projects on which we're working currently. We think that we should make many more projects a reality at this point of time. I'm sure people are aware we work with Japanese universities on ICT for disaster management, multimodal transportation, data sciences for agriculture, and there are a number of technologies that we are at work. A lot more things can definitely be done. And above all, what impressed me with Professor Uno talking about this earlier is that we also have very similar value systems. He talked about how land is treated as God, and in the local language we call it as Bhudevi. Mother is land. So we have very similar value systems, very similar objectives. And to help us, we have our Ambassador Hiramatu-san, and he has come a long way in terms of helping us. So on my behalf, on your behalf, let's give a round of applause to Mr. It's been a great day for all of us. We will continue to work towards making sure IIT Hyderabad will be the best institute in this country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. It is a great honor for me to introduce our chief guest, His Excellency Mr. Kenji Hiramatsu. He was appointed as Ambassador of Japan to India in November 2015 and to Bhutan in February 2016. Prior to his appointment as Ambassador of Japan to India, he served as Deputy Minister for Foreign Policies from 2012 to 2015, where he was responsible for overall foreign policy making in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. In this capacity, he played a central role in Japan's new landmark legislation for peace and security. He was one of the authors of the first national security strategy in 2014. He was also responsible for a whole range of issues related to the United Nations, including the reform of the UN Security Council. Ambassador Hiramatsu also served as Director General for Global Issues from 2011 to 2012 and was engaged in several important multilateral negotiations. He was the Prime Minister's Special Envoy for climate change negotiations and contributed to establishing a new climate change framework. After joining the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in 1979, he has dealt with a wide range of global issues and took important positions such as Deputy Director General for Economic Affairs, Executive Assistant to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and Director for Northeast Asia Division. Now I request Honorable Chief Guest, His Excellency Mr. Kenji Hiramatsu, Ambassador of Japan to India, to deliver the Chief Guest Address.
Shri PBR Mohan Reddy, Chairman Board of Governors, Professor Zaibi Desai, Director, Indian Institute of Technology, Hyderabad, Mr. Katsuo Matsumoto, Chief Representative, JICA India Office, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's my great pleasure and honor to be part of this auspicious occasion to mark the beginning of our construction work, the IIT Hyderabad campus building. The history of collaboration for IIT Hyderabad started in 2007 when Prime Minister Abe visited India. At that time, Japan's and Indian Prime Ministers agreed to initiate a working group to study and to explore possible collaboration in setting up a new IIT. In 2008, IIT Hyderabad was set up as a concrete outcome of this commitment. In 2009, the Japanese side established IIT Hyderabad Consortium in order to consider coordinated collaboration for IIT Hyderabad among the government, academia, and industry. Since then, the Japanese side has been working in partnership with Indian side in many joint research projects and technical assistance projects such as DISANET and campus design project and invitation programs to Japan such as internship programs, short-term visit programs, and long-term degree programs under the JICA Friendship Project. In addition, in 2012, the Japanese government and the Indian government agreed to implement phase 1 of the campus development project of IIT Hyderabad. In 2013, the two sides pledged to implement phase 2 for the same project. Nowadays, IIT Hyderabad is one of the centers of excellent collaborative research between Japan and India, and many Japanese universities, research institutes, and private corporations have been visiting IIT Hyderabad to hold active discussion among researchers of the two nations. I sincerely appreciate all the efforts made by all the board members, faculties, Japanese scholars, and JICA team of experts to promote Japan-India collaboration. My special thanks go to Professor Desai for his passion and commitment to make IIT Hyderabad an outstanding academic institution and the harbinger of academic partnership between Japan and India. Thank you very much. I hope that this international collaboration in the field of AI will become, also this institute has concluded MOUs with RIKEN Center in March 2019, a National Institute of Advanced Institute in Industrial Science Technology in Japan in September 2018 to promote international collaboration in education and research, particularly in the field of artificial intelligence. I hope that this international collaboration in the field of AI will become a unique feature of IIT Hyderabad, which will hold the distinction of having a full-fledged department of artificial intelligence. Japan has so far provided opportunities for 91 students of IIT Hyderabad to study in Japan, and the alumni network has been spreading in Japan. I hope many more students of this university, IIT Hyderabad, will have opportunities to study in Japan in years to come. The number of Japanese corporations recruiting in IIT Hyderabad is increasing every year, and this symbolizes close relationship between Japan and IIT Hyderabad. 6 facilities, such as Research Center Complex, Technology Incubation Park, Convention Center, etc., which will be constructed from now, are designed by laboratories of the University of Tokyo, as is demonstrated in the video. I hope that these sophisticated facilities will be optimally used by the talented faculties and students, and IIT Hyderabad will take a quantum leap as one of the world-class academic institutions. I'm happy to observe that collaboration with IIT Hyderabad has been deepening and widening every year. This cooperation has really become a symbol of Japan-India cooperation in academic field. I personally place special emphasis on young people exchanges, science technology collaboration, and Japanese language education in Japan-India cooperation project. I hope IIT Hyderabad plays an important role to promote these projects. As Professor Desai mentioned, I hope this kind of collaboration will continue forever. As an ambassador, I do my best effort that this kind of collaboration will be developed even further in many years to come. Lastly, I'd like to reiterate my commitment for the success of IIT Hyderabad and sincerely wish that active joint researches by the brilliant faculties and students will lead to further expansion of the deep and excellent relationship between Japan and India. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. I request Shri B.V.R. Mohan Reddy to felicitate our Honorable Chief Guest, His Excellency Mr. Kenji Hiramatsu. I now request Professor Sirish to propose vote of thanks.
His Excellency, Mr. Hiramatsu-san and Matsumoto-san, Mr. B.V.R. Mohan Reddy, Professor Desai, ladies and gentlemen,
Very good afternoon, and it gives me a very great pleasure and privilege in proposing vote of thanks today on this very memorable day. So, on behalf of Director IIT Hyderabad and entire IIT fraternity and my behalf, I would like to propose. I would like to thank His Excellency again, Mr. Hiramatsu-san, Ambassador of Japan to India, and Sri Vivian Mohan Reddy, Chairman Board of Governors, who has been a source of inspiration for all the activities on campus. And special thanks also due to Mr. Matsumoto-san, Chief Representative of JICA, India office, and his entire team. To name, I'll be reading so many names because so many people are involved in this project right from the beginning. So I don't want to miss anybody, and if I miss, it's not intentional. Mr. Tange-san, Ehara-san, Sarin-san, Nikita-san, without their support, actually, today we don't have to meet here for this occasion. And they have been very helpful in every stage of this project, along with the Chief Representative. And I wish to also thank and place on record a sincere thanks to the entire campus development project, who have helped in various capacities from Japan side and India side. The list goes this way, and this will be Mr. Dilip Ghosh, who will be the coordinator for IIT Hyderabad Japan collaboration project, and Professor K.V.L. Subramanian, former Dean Planning, and Yamanaka-san, Ijima-san, Hara-san, Takema-san, Matsumoto-san, who are previous JICA representatives who helped us in various stages, and also Kono-san, Ijima-san, Moholkar-san, Indo-san, and Kitamura-san, Ichiguchi-san, Mikato-san, and so on and so forth. Sorry if I missed some names here. And there are various people and various stages at various stages from headquarters to Southeast Asia component and also India office. They have helped this project right from the beginning. And also we have counterpart from Government of India side. The list is like Mr. Gujarat, who was Finance Secretary of Ministry of Finance that time, and Mr. Thakur, Secretary MHRD, and also Mr. Mathur, Additional Secretary MHRD, then when we signed the contract with JICA. And currently we have Sri Subramanian, and Secretary MHRD, and Dr. Sandhu, Additional Secretary MHRD, and the list goes on, and who have been very helpful in mobilizing all the activities of this entire project. So I'll also place on record and thank the architects, especially Japanese architects, who have really built, designed marquee buildings, and which will be realizing very soon on campus. Professor Ono-san, Professor Kawagoi-san, and team of architects from Indian architect teams like Ortop, CCBA, GFS2, and the HCP. And also I would like to thank all the staff, colleagues, and faculty colleagues who have been helping us in right from the design stage and forming the specifications also. And also they have participated at various stages of evaluation of these contracts for this project. So I would also like to thank the entire CMD team who have been patiently working with us. I would say that per day they have worked 20 hours in a given day, and for a couple of weeks, just to finalize these standard documents. So I would like to thank each and everyone who have participated in this. But not least, that I would like to also thank the latest team of L&T who has participated in the tender process and then quickly mobilized their men and equipment recently to start the program, start the construction. And in fact, we are having kickoff meeting today. And I don't want to forget Tata Consulting Engineers here, who have been backbone for developing the entire tender document, and also HCP. Sorry if I miss anybody, any of the engineers in this occasion. I would also like to thank admin section, ISAC team, L&T, CMD team for making all the arrangements for today's event. And special thanks to one and all here present here. Thank you very much.
You're doing a good job. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. There's a lecture by His Excellency Mr. Hiramatsu entitled Transformed Partnership Between Japan and India, Special Strategic and Global Partnership from 3 to 4 p.m. here in the auditorium. Request everyone to attend this important lecture. Thank you all for giving us your prize time. Thank you.
Thank you.